They must not interrupt someone who has the time.
Mr. Chairman, can I
You
ask a
simply
question?
can't shout out. If you think that someone is saying
I agree.
if you
Mr. Jordan, you don't know what the heck you're talking about.
She facilitated. Wait, no, she didn't. How did she facilitate it?
The government, because let me just finish, because you can't get your way.
No, Nicole, I just don't, I just think that we're doing a feeding, hang on.
Scaling the Capitol, hitting the Capitol Police with lead pipes across the head, and we can't get bipartisanship. What else has to happen in this country?
Good morning. Thank you so much. Thank you for that welcome, and welcome to the Sterling Heights Community Center for our annual State of the City of Sterling Heights. So good to see so many people here in the community center. I've talked to a number of people. This is their first time here, and we're really proud and excited to showcase it to you and the rest of our community. Now, I know we started off on a bit of a dark note today, and I promise you it'll get better. I can't promise the speech is going to get better, but it will get more positive. I have to be honest with you. I don't watch Fox News or CNN or MSNBC anymore, and I almost never go on Facebook either. I'm sorry. I know a lot of people out there watch it, and that's fine, but frankly, I think it's pretty toxic. Our national discourse has really devolved recently into an endless loop of incivility, bickering, fighting, and constant negativity. And who out there really wants to be surrounded with so much negativity all of the time? I know I don't. So I rarely watch the news anymore. And I think you know why I put that in quotes. It's really mostly just entertainment masquerading itself as news. This cycle of negativity has infected our politics, our news, and our society as a whole. So the question I ask myself is, how do we break this cycle? Well, I have a suggestion, and so does he. That's Ted Lasso. If you don't know, Ted is a bit of a hero of mine. And he's someone I've tried to emulate as a mayor, quite literally. No, seriously, this was me last year. I dressed for him as Halloween. Can you tell which one is me and which one's Ted Lasso? I didn't think so. So has anybody here seen the show Ted Lasso? For those of you who haven't, Ted Lasso is a fictional character on a TV show called Ted Lasso. Ted is an American football coach from flyover country with a bushy mustache and a folksy accent who's hired by the owner of a high-level English soccer team, that's her, to be its new head coach. He is like a proverbial fish out of water. He takes on this very high-profile job without any knowledge or experience, which I have to admit sounds a lot like some of our politicians today, right? Now, Ted's hired by the ex-wife of the club's prior owner as this cruel prank. She expects Ted to fail spectacularly and run the team into the ground. The players on his team don't respect him. The media thinks he's a joke. The fans have no faith. But Ted Lasso has a superpower, and if you've seen it, you know what I mean. He is an eternal optimist. No matter what happens around him, Ted stays positive, and he finds the good in people. Even when he's insulted, he accepts it with humility, grace, and positivity. His positive energy in the face of a daunting challenge catches people completely off guard at first. But his relentless positivity is infectious. It starts winning over the players, the media, and the fans. So in a world where insults and derision and skepticism and distrust are the norm, Ted Lasso rises above it all. Now look, I know that this is just a fictional TV show, but I really think that there is a lesson here. Leadership needs to be inspiring, and you don't inspire people to be the best version of themselves through constant negativity. If our national leaders are not willing to embrace a positive message, then I say we need a new model. I think that cities can be agents for positive change, and we should be the ones addressing the big problems that affect us all, from public safety to economic opportunity, from housing shortages to climate change, public health and mental health, racial equity, workforce development. Everything in between, these are things that cities can and should be taking on in a much larger role. And when I reflect back on the last 12 months in Sterling Heights, I'm really proud that our city council, our administration, our employees, and our volunteers are leading the way here in Macomb County with positivity. We're doing it the Ted Lasso way. We do it through building trust with our residents. We do it through building trust with our business owners and the broader community. We lead through innovation. We lead through progress. And when people can choose anywhere to live, we are standing apart from the crowd. We've been recognized for our leadership far and wide. This past year, our very own city councilwoman, Barb Zarko, became the president of the Michigan Municipal League. The MML is an organization dedicated to supporting cities throughout Michigan. Their motto is, "We love where you live." And on the top of their homepage is a great quote that I want to share with you. Even in these uncharted and difficult times, the Michigan Municipal League is dedicated to inspiring positive change for Michigan's greatest centers of potential, its communities. Now, I can think of no one better to lead the MML for this past year and the next year than Councilwoman Zarko. As president of the MML, Councilwoman Zarko has advocated across Michigan for stronger cities through community wealth building. For cities like Sterling Heights to lead the way to a more positive and vibrant future, we have to start by building wealth right here in our city. And I'm not talking about money here. Community wealth involves so much more than that. It means creating resilient and adaptable systems to address social and economic needs. It means building trust in our community, innovating, standing apart, encouraging lifelong learning, improving public health, emphasizing arts and culture, providing good fiscal management and stewardship of our residents' money, promoting sustainability, and managing our critical infrastructure. And over the past 12 months, Sterling Heights has shown a commitment to building wealth in our community. But this isn't something that you just turn on overnight. In 2014, the city engaged the community in a process that we called Visioning 2030. It was designed to elicit input from stakeholders throughout the community about what they wanted to see here in Sterling Heights over the next 15 years. That process has informed every major decision that we've made, like the redevelopment of Dodge Park, the construction of this community center, reforms and improvements to our police and fire departments, upgrades at City Hall, new and improved services, and so much more. And as we get closer to 2030, we are already planting the seeds for our next visioning process to shape what the future of our city is going to look like in 2040 and beyond. Now, as you know, this is going to be a little bit of a TED Talk from here on out. Ted Lasso knows a thing or two about taking on a challenge. To Ted, taking on a challenge is a lot like riding a horse. If you're comfortable while you're doing it, you're probably doing it wrong. Now, Sterling Heights has the option to take on a challenge. We can either stay complacent or we can challenge ourselves to improve every day. Visioning 2030 was a challenge that the city gave itself, and it was and it still is a very ambitious plan. But I'm happy to say that over these past 8 years, the city has answered the challenge and made tremendous progress. But none of it would be possible without building the trust of our community first. I think probably the single biggest challenge facing any government official, and I have a lot of you in the room, and I appreciate you being here, whether you are elected or not, if you work in government, you have to earn the trust of the people that you serve. Trust is the cornerstone of any successful organization, but especially government. And according to surveys, trust in government right now is at all-time lows. But trust in local government remains very high. Now, Sterling Heights has taken on the challenge of leading the way by building and maintaining trust with our community. We've done it through improved transparency initiatives, working with stakeholders like our school districts, and keeping the promises that we've made to our residents. Now, nowhere is trust more important right now than with police departments. Sterling Heights continues to be one of the safest big cities in the country and the safest big city in Michigan, thanks in large part to the work of our incredible police department. Under the leadership of Police Chief Dale Dwojakowski, the Sterling Heights Police Department is one of the most transparent departments in the state of Michigan now, too. Earlier this year, the PD unveiled a transparency dashboard housed on its website. A first of its kind in Macomb County, the PD's transparency dashboard is regularly updated and provides up-to-date crime statistics throughout the city. It helps citizens stay informed, provides transparency so residents can trust that we are doing everything we can to keep them safe. This builds on the PD's work last year to become one of the only accredited police departments in the state of Michigan. This proactive process proves to our community that we are implementing best practices to keep them safe, practices that keep and build the trust of the entire community. And our PD understands that in many cities, citizens have lost faith and trust in their police. I'm proud to say that in Sterling Heights, the residents consistently rate our police department extremely favorably in surveys. And it's because the men and the women of the police department have embraced a positive message of community policing.
Our community speaks multiple different languages, and it's very important for our police department to hire officers like myself, like other officers that we have in the field, just day to day, that can communicate with just the individuals, the community that we come across every single day. It's very rewarding for me to give back to the community, to be able to communicate with the community, to be able to, find out what their needs are, what their wants are, and be able to deliver it for them.
Any ideas?
Sterling Heights is a very diverse city. Hiring police officers who can effectively communicate with our residents is an important way that we can build trust. And our police, of course, have a very difficult job. Oftentimes, our officers are interacting with members of the public who are in distress, dealing with problems that our police aren't always well equipped to handle. That's why the city recently hired a full-time social worker who has made an immediate impact for our residents.
In fact, I'm the only city social worker that I could find right now. Even nationally, there are cities that are hiring social workers like within the police department, so they're police social workers, and that is through the city, but they're not just city social worker. This is a good thing because in the short time that I've been here as a city social worker, I've found a lot of different areas where needs of community members have not been being met, and they don't have any idea of where to find the resources or how to get connected to the resources. So like for instance, it could be homelessness. I've helped with elderly, just connecting them with certain resources like Meals on Wheels. I'm just telling them about many resources that are available that they don't have the access to, so I'm connecting them. It's important because there's a lot of help out there. There's a lot of things that people can get help with, and a lot of the phone calls that I get, there's like 10 or 12 resources for the one thing they're asking for, and they just don't have any idea of how to find that resource or that it's even available.
Amy has already succeeded in building trust with some of the most vulnerable members of our community. And Sterling Heights continues working hard to build the trust of our diverse population. That work starts here in City Hall. Over the past year, the city has completed the first 2 phases of our diversity, equity, and inclusion plan. We recognize that minority communities are expanding in the city, and we must work especially hard to earn their trust. That is just one reason why we are still so excited about the work of our African American Coalition. This past June, the African American Coalition hosted its first annual Juneteenth celebration at Dodge Park. The festivities included food, music, dancing, and other entertainment. And we are looking forward to growing that celebration in the years to come. And in January of this year, Sterling Heights became the first and only city in Macomb County to pass a human rights ordinance aimed at protecting the LGBTQ+ community from discrimination in housing, employment, and public accommodations. But I think the best way that a city can build trust with its residents is by keeping them connected and keeping them informed. In times of an emergency or when important information needs to be disseminated, Sterling Heights has multiple outlets to keep our residents informed. I encourage everyone to sign up for our Sterling Heights e-news alerts. Alerts can be delivered via text message or email and provide our community with access to information they need on a regular basis. like the recent boil water advisory you heard about, updates on road projects, snow emergencies, and the like. Residents can also stay updated on the latest developments from our many boards and commissions, including what's going on with our city council. You see, by rejecting negativity and embracing a positive message of community wealth building, Sterling Heights is leading the way. We will partner with anyone and everyone who wants to embrace that positive message of progress. And two of the best partners that we work with who are here today are the Warren Consolidated School District and the Utica Community School District. Now, I have to say, my wife is here with me. Nothing is more important to parents like us than our children. Now, we are so lucky in Sterling Heights to have two of the great school districts. And we partner with them on a regular basis to maintain trust in our educational institutions. The city recently hosted a school safety forum with officials from both school districts to emphasize the importance of keeping children safe at school. Dr. Bob Livernoy from Warren Consolidated and Bob Monroe from the Utica Community School District participated with our police chief to have an open and honest discussion about school safety. While we don't have any official role in running the schools, the City of Sterling Heights and our police department are committed to doing everything we can to assure parents that they can trust that every school in Sterling Heights remains a safe place for their children. Now, the programs I've outlined so far have helped build and maintain trust with our community. Instead of bickering and fighting and negativity, Sterling Heights is leading the way by staying positive and just focusing on getting things done. Now, according to my friend Ted Lasso, again, you don't bring an umbrella to a brainstorm, and I think that's great. As I said at the beginning of this speech, cities, I think, deserve a larger role in solving the big problems that the federal government either ignores or fails to improve. I think cities like Sterling Heights have shown that by leveraging the talent and ideas of nearly 600 people that we employ and the hundreds of additional volunteers, we can find innovative solutions that have eluded higher levels of government. Innovation is central to the city's 2030 visioning statement, and like businesses, cities that do not innovate are cities that will regress or fail. So over the past 12 months, Sterling Heights has implemented innovative new technologies to provide our residents and businesses with improved services. And a lot of this work was taken on by our new Sustainability Commission, which was recently recognized for their award-winning sustainability plan. Now, central to the city's sustainability plan is implementing innovations to reduce greenhouse gases and improve the city's non-motorized plan. We hear it all the time. In 2021, global sales of electric vehicles more than doubled. And as more and more electric vehicles are on the road, cities need to adapt their infrastructure to meet the growing demand. This past year, Sterling Heights obtained a SEMCOG grant to develop an EV charging station strategic plan to ensure that drivers making the switch have a place to charge up here. Sterling Heights recently also approved its first new road project with dedicated bike lanes. Using American Rescue Plan funding, Plumbrook Road will be the first city street with dedicated bike lanes. I think cities can and should help nudge people towards more environmentally friendly modes of transportation. So I'm excited about another innovative program that started in July, and that's the library's Bike Share program. Library card holders now have the option to not just check out books, but with your library card, you can rent a bike like these to take out for a spin. But what about the residents with mobility concerns who can't make it up to the library, let alone rent a bike? Well, believe it or not, the city is studying implementation of an innovative drone delivery service for library books to residents who can't easily travel to and from our library. And with countless miles of roadway to travel in the city, our lighting infrastructure has to change with the times too. Sterling Heights continues to update our streetlights to the more efficient LED standard. LED lights we know are sustainable, cost efficient, consume less energy than conventional streetlights, and save our residents money. But innovation doesn't just come in the form of new technologies. New programs like the city's Ask an Inspector initiative help residents and businesses that want to make improvements but may not know where to start. With new technologies, training, and innovations, the city of Sterling Heights is making it easier for you to protect and build on your investment. Of course, the Sterling Heights Fire Department is no stranger to innovation. Perhaps more than any other department in the city, the fire department has implemented new technologies and service delivery to proactively protect our community. Under the leadership of the recently appointed Fire Chief Kevin Edmonds, the Sterling Heights Fire Department continues to innovate. Since beginning the 2030 visioning process, the fire department has expanded back to pre-recession employment. They've implemented ALS transport, obtained a burn room to improve training exercises, and so much more. Just this year, the fire department implemented its Mobile Eyes program with fire inspectors using tablets in the field to proactively find issues before they turn into a more serious problem. And the fire department also recently became the first department in the state of Michigan to use remote methane gas leak detectors. With the assistance of a grant from a company in Houston known as Health Consultants, the FD will now be able to quickly scan building vents from a safe distance to determine if methane gas is present. And Sterling Heights certainly would not be the city that it is today without the hundreds of volunteers who selflessly give of their time and talents. We have over 20 boards and commissions that provide city council and administration with assistance from planning and zoning to sustainability, celebrating diversity, arts, culture, and our city's rich history. Through the implementation of new technologies, city administration has new tools now to help recruit, train, and get board and commission members ready to better provide services for our residents. Now, over the past year, we have challenged every department in Sterling Heights to be creative and innovative. Innovation improves city services, makes the city more attractive to residents and businesses, and it hasn't gone unnoticed.
I said, hey, look, we need to move out of our facility. We've outgrown it. I said, why don't you find a facility? So first of all, great location, great building, everything else. We love this. But also Sterling Heights made it an attractive place. And so attractive is not just incentives from the city or something else. It's the young people want to live there. Is the community supportive of manufacturing? Are they making investments to make it an attractive community? And do they support us financially? Because if you're missing any one of those pieces, we have choices and we can go to other places. But Mike and the city council here, they were terrific and they just made it an attractive place to come want to build a business.
This is what Visioning 2030 is all about. And as Ted said, you don't bring an umbrella to a brainstorm. The city has the benefit of having hundreds of city employees and volunteers and thousands of engaged residents and stakeholders who give me their opinion on a regular basis. And they have ideas. They have good ideas for improving quality of life and creating innovations every single day. These innovations and these new programs and technologies help push the city forward, making us more attractive to prospective businesses and residents, and it proves that Sterling Heights continues to be a city of progress. Now, as I said before, we're working hard to build and maintain trust. We're working hard to remain innovative and progressive, but progress cannot stop, not even for a day. Progress also requires collaboration, because not just among the members of our team right here, but really among the broader community. Cities can tackle the biggest challenges facing our country, but we must do so together, and we have to do it collaboratively. Now, I think perhaps our biggest opportunity for local collaboration lies between, for cities and townships, lies between Hall Road. It's no secret that Sterling Heights has emphasized the importance of this critical corridor within our city, but I believe it's time we expand that vision beyond Sterling Heights to showcase what a powerhouse this corridor is for Metro Detroit, Michigan, and the Midwest. Come aboard with me for a couple of minutes, and as we take a tour of just a few of the attractions that the Golden Corridor has to offer.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
Now, imagine for a moment yourself boarding a trolley or rapid transit bus or a train line running along Hall Road. With an abundance of shopping and dining and retail along this corridor, you could pick up dinner with friends at one of the great restaurants in Shelby Township, skip the bumper-to-bumper traffic on your way to a ball game at Jimmy John's Field in downtown Utica.
Stand clear of the closing doors, please.
After a summer day game at Jimmy John's, pack up the kids and head east into Sterling Heights, where adventure awaits at the soon-to-be-expanded Urban Air Adventure Park. Already the best indoor park in Metro Detroit, Urban Air is nearing completion on a state-of-the-art go-kart track. And the next stop is Lakeside Mall. Now, I know the mall is not what it used to be, but soon, I promise you, it will be unlike anything else in Macomb County. The new mall owners are working feverishly to deliver on the promises of a nearly $1 billion mixed-use district, which will surely provide an experience unlike anything else in Macomb County. Moving down the corridor into Clinton Township is the Macomb County Community College campus with educational and cultural opportunities to train the workforce of tomorrow. And if you want to take your dog shopping with you or just relax out at the fountain while catching an impromptu evening concert, Partridge Creek continues to be a premier shopping destination. And just a few more miles down the road in Clinton Township is one of the region's best outdoor attractions in C.J. Barrymore's. Now, I have to say, this was probably my favorite place to visit when I was a kid, and that was before they built the roller coaster and the Ferris wheel. Now, when the kids or adults are ready to leave, don't forget dessert. Hop back on board and make the short trip east to the Saunders Chocolate Factory, home of the original Morley's candy makers. A tour of this incredible facility should be on every Macomb County bucket list. Now, I mean, can you imagine ditching your car, avoiding all the congestion and construction, and having these attractions just a stop or two away? Anchoring the eastern end of the Golden Corridor in Chesterfield Township, just 10 short miles from Jimmy John's Field, is a newly developed BJ's Wholesale Club and the region's only Cabela's Outfitters for the outdoor enthusiasts out there. This corridor connects Utica to Sterling Heights, to Shelby Township, to Clinton Township, to Macomb Township, to Harrison Township, to Chesterfield Township. I think that together we can and we should be working on a unified Hall Road master plan that promotes all of these attractions and opportunities. Today, I'm calling on the leaders of all of these municipalities to work with our county executive, Mark Hackle, to take this multi-jurisdictional corridor to even greater heights. And one stop along the way that I failed to mention is Macomb County's first Total Wine. If you haven't been there yet, I encourage you to carve out a couple hours this weekend and probably a few $100s too, to get stocked up for the winter.
Total Wine started in 1991 by David and Robert Trone, really just trying to give customers, a good experience in a retail industry with beer, wine, and spirits. And obviously it's grown into what you've seen today. So one of the things we really pride ourselves on, three things: price, service, and selection. So obviously we want to have the best price. As far as the selection, we want to have everything. We really partner hand in hand with our distributors to ensure that we have everything that we possibly can get in the building. And then we spend a lot of time and a lot of investment in our team just making sure they're properly trained. We do a lot of computer-based training with our team. We do a lot of hands-on training with them. We do have a classroom in the back of the store where we actually have one-on-one training with our team, and then we do group trainings with them. As a company, we do send people to California, France, where we do wine trips, and then we try to do as many distiller trips as we possibly can. In this area specifically, one of the things that really makes us successful is the associates that we've employed here from the community. And it's definitely helped this store become one of the strongest stores that we have in Michigan. When you really think about it, the Golden Corridor, it's obviously growing, and you can see it when you're outside and you're driving down the road, and you can see from the customers, it's a fantastic area. Yeah, so getting back to the selection piece that we really try and pride ourselves on, we really want to ensure that we have everything. So if you come into our Sterling Heights location, we don't have something, we're going to do whatever we can to try and locate that for you. And a couple things that we have that most places don't: we have a massive cold climate box that has all of our high-end wines in there. We also have a humidor in the front of the building, and then we also do offer classes in the back of the building. When you come into the Sterling Heights Total Wine, it's really you're interacting with someone from the community. It's not someone from another location. It's someone from here, so it's someone you're going to interact with, and they understand everything that you're looking for and your specific needs.
It's really great to have Total Wine just 2 or 3 miles from my house. Kidding. But if Total Wine doesn't have what you're looking for, I don't know what you're drinking, but I got to find out. Thank you to Jeremy and the staff at Total Wine for letting our team come out and spend some time with them. Another important corridor in Sterling Heights that we don't talk about a whole lot is Ryan Road on the west side of the city. It runs north and south, showcasing the incredible transformation of our city into the home of tens of thousands of Chaldean citizens. The city recently received confirmation of earmarked federal funds to study a reimagined Ryan Road. Long known as one of the most dangerous roadways in Sterling Heights, with innovative new ideas, this street can be a model for safety and culture. Driving up and down Ryan Road, you'll see firsthand how Sterling Heights is embracing and supporting the ever-expanding Chaldean community. There are countless meat markets, restaurants, banquet halls, coffee shops, bakeries, salons, fruit markets, cafes, and more. With the Chaldean Community Foundation's beautiful 20,000 square foot building anchoring the corridor, Ryan Road is the main thoroughfare for residents who want to experience authentic Chaldean cuisine and culture. Supermarkets like Dream Market are expanding in the city with multiple locations. The Ishtar restaurant at 15 in Ryan is just one example of a restaurant that looks more like a palace or a history museum than your average run-of-the-mill chain. These diverse businesses enrich Sterling Heights and provide Chaldeans a connection to their past and give non-Chaldeans like me the opportunity to expand our horizons without leaving the city. Now, as Ted says, doing the right thing is never the wrong thing, and that's very profound, I think. The right thing for our city to do is to recognize that area of Sterling Heights, around 15 Mile and Ryan, finally and officially with wayfinding, signage, and an official designation as the home of the world's largest concentration of Chaldean immigrants here in the United States living together. Now, speaking of Ryan Road, one of the most common complaints that I still receive is speeding. Speeding along Ryan Road, speeding everywhere. Studies show that we can make progress by keeping motorists safer by just designing better features on our roadways. One important and easy thing that I think we can do is just increase the number of trees on our right-of-way. More trees make the road appear narrower, focusing the driver's attention and naturally slowing them down. But we don't just need more trees along our roadways, we need them everywhere in the city. You know, Sterling Heights has long been known as Tree City and held that designation. We're lucky to have vast areas of the city with beautiful, mature trees lining our streets, enhancing our parks, providing natural habitat for an abundance of wildlife. But our city's tree canopy can and must be expanded. This past year, the city dedicated significant ARPA funds to increase the number of trees throughout Sterling Heights. And just a few weeks ago, the city enacted a new tree ordinance aimed at protecting landmark trees. The city is also dedicated to protecting our waterways. Storm drains are critical pieces of infrastructure that prevent flooding by diverting rainwater and melting snow off paved surfaces and into natural bodies of water. A partnership this year between our Sustainability Commission and our Arts Commission resulted in the creation of a cool new program to mark storm drains throughout the city with creative artwork. Stencils like the one I'm holding right here are available to any Sterling Heights resident or business who wants to help draw attention to the importance of protecting and maintaining our natural waterways. With persistence, positivity, Sterling Heights is standing apart. Now, I don't need to tell anyone in this room that we took a lot of criticism over the halo on Hall Road, okay? It's fair. But despite all the negativity, all the insults, the dirty names, I think we took a negative and truly turned it into a positive. When all the memes and videos and Facebook pages fade away, and they are, the halo still stands tall as a constant reminder of our city's desire to stand apart from the crowd. Over the next few weeks alone, the halo will be lit in a variety of colors to draw attention to important causes like ovarian cancer awareness and metastatic breast cancer awareness. And when tragedy struck Oxford last year, the halo provided a positive message of unity and hope. And we want to stand apart in Sterling Heights. We want the reputation as the city in Macomb County where we take bold, decisive actions that make us stand apart. And nowhere is that more apparent than in our parks. Just 6 years ago, voters went to the polls to vote on an ambitious Parks and Recreation plan that I think has been spectacularly transformational. With the splash pad and sports courts, playgrounds, and the picturesque Clinton River serving as the backdrop, Sterling Heights has set the standard for municipal parks in Michigan and beyond. You hear that, Mayor Barnett? We've set the standard. Now, I can't imagine our city without all these improvements. Our parks truly stand apart, and under the leadership of Parks and Recreation Director Kyle Langloy, Dodge Park is a shining example of how a positive message of community wealth building can improve people's lives. And I continue to love the city's public art program. Sterling Heights is showing cities throughout Macomb County the importance of having art in the community. This year, the city is going to expand on its public art program with a new sculpture commissioned by the Norden brothers, who you may remember as the creators of the Seed sculpture just outside the roundabout outside of Dodge Park. And speaking of Dodge Park, this was a summer packed with events. The city's weekly farmers market returned, along with a Juneteenth celebration, a food truck rally hosted by the Sterling Heights Chamber, and a lot more too. It also marked the return of Sterling Fest after a long 3-year hiatus. Huge crowds packed Dodge Park for Sterling Fest this year, enjoying great music, food, rides, and more. Uncle Kracker headlined the final night of Sterling Fest, entertaining more than 10,000 festival goers from Metro Detroit and beyond. In fact, I met 2 fans that drove as far as Rhode Island and Eastern Canada to come to Sterling Fest. I think they were Uncle Kracker fans. But for 12 weeks this summer, Sterling Heights was also back to normal with its very successful Music in the Park series, its farmers market, patios, and pints. Now, more than 2 years on after the start of the pandemic, it feels like we are finally back to normal. And this is great news for our local businesses, which remained resilient and are now as strong as ever. We're blessed in Sterling Heights to have some incredible companies that produce products used the world over. But we also have some incredible local businesses who help Sterling Heights stand apart.
Hi there. Are you ready?
Miss Christina?
We're gonna go this way. We're gonna go this way.
I want to get some toys.
You want to look at some toys? Well, we got toys for you.
Well, first, we're an intensive-based program, and second of all, we're a one-stop shop for families who have children with disabilities. We provide speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy, ABA therapy, which is applied behavior analysis, and feeding and swallowing therapy. We're intensive-based. We're typically not seeing the kids once or twice a week. It's usually 3 to 5 times per week. Because we're capitalizing on the neuroplasticity aspect of their brain, we're habilitating children, so we're teaching them skills they've never had.
You gotta move your mouth. Can we swallow it?
Being not only an employee of Metro AHS, but also having a child that has been in occupational therapy, I can not only relate to them and give personal experience to what they would be doing, because a lot of times families will call and not really have any idea what occupational therapy is, what speech therapy is, what ABA therapy is. So being able to explain that from not just a employee's perspective, but also from a parent's perspective.
Parents are thrilled. They, especially the kids that might not have been able to talk are now talking and saying, hey, I love you, Mom. Or they're allowing, the parent to hug them, things that their child would never want. And you don't think that you don't know what that's like until you walk in those shoes. So for just little things like that, parents are ecstatic. And the other thing is that they're happy that their kids are able to socialize and play and have fun with their peers, because a lot of our children aren't able to. So we not only get them acclimated within their own family, we're getting them acclimated within their community, which is school, and the parents just can't be happier.
I love football.
You love football?
Yes, I love it.
I love football too.
Me too.
You too? You want to come in here?
Knowing that this is where, families are setting down roots here. They're, this is where they're coming, and if the families are coming here, this is where the children are, so this is where we need to be.
It's, I could cry, because we really are, we're making a difference in kids' lives and families' lives, so it's, sometimes I try not to focus on that because of the tears that, evokes, but the stories I've heard and the changes that we're making in kids' lives in the moment, and then what an impact it's going to have when they become young adults, and I'm hoping at some point they give back to their community.
7, 8, 9, 10.
We only just opened the center this year. I mean, it was just a couple months ago. And to see all of the families that come, to see all of the kiddos that are running around, like every single one of those people didn't have a place to go before. And now they do, because we're here.
I am so inspired. Yeah, I'm really inspired by businesses like Metro EHS that help Sterling Heights stand apart as a community dedicated to helping every person, especially the kids you saw. And I'm afraid that the one boy is going to need a lot of help if he's a football fan growing up here in the Detroit region. We are lucky to have such an incredible community of city employees, residents, volunteers, and businesses working together to make a positive change for the improvement of the quality of life for everyone that we serve. But it couldn't happen without the work of one department that rarely makes the headlines or gets the credit that they deserve. Of course, I'm talking about the unsung heroes of our organization, which is unquestionably the men and women of our DPW. This past year, the city of Sterling Heights finally cut the ribbon on a brand new $20 million DPW facility that is fitting of the contributions to the city that this department helps maintain every single day. For years, the DPW was working out of a dilapidated building, an inefficient building. It literally had cracks in the walls that was letting the daylight in. Now, natural light streams into this state-of-the-art building where some of the most important work in our city is performed. I've heard it said that our DPW are sort of like the motor oil of the city, keeping everything running smoothly. And I've been told by somebody, not going to point any names here, but that I'm not very good at analogies, but I think this one is true. Now, under the leadership of our DPW director, Michael Moore, this department is responsible for everything from keeping the streets clear and safe during the winter, maintaining our underground infrastructure that we rely on for water supply, to repairing police and fire vehicles, and so much more. They rarely look for credit, but we couldn't do any of the things that I've outlined today without them. Now, the city's investment in its DPW is going to pay dividends long into the future. But the city is also mindful of its past. Sterling Heights recognizes and celebrates its history through our historical commission and the historic Upton House that's right across the street. If you haven't been to it before, I really encourage you to go check it out. Built in 1866 to 1867 by William Upton and Sarah Upton, the Upton House Museum is one of the few surviving 19th century homes remaining in Sterling Heights. And according to our historical commission, the Upton House is a classic example of the Victorian Italianate style of architecture that was popular back in the 1840s to 1880s. The interior has gone through extensive renovations to accentuate its original architecture and design. And through the work of the city staff and the historical commission, tours are available regularly where visitors can connect to relics of our city's past, like the ones shown on the screen behind me right now. Over these past 12 months, Sterling Heights has shown that it can lead on any issue facing our residents, big or small. Our dedicated staff has responded to thousands of inquiries from residents, implemented new innovative technologies that help build and maintain trust. We've proven that through positive forward action, local leadership can lead the way to a better future for everyone. Our leadership and progress are not going unnoticed. As I mentioned at the beginning of this speech, Councilwoman Zarko has been recognized for her positive leadership by being voted as the president of the MML. It's an office she'll serve in for another year. But it's not just our city council being recognized for their leadership and positive vision. This past year, the city has earned multiple awards and recognitions for its contributions to improving quality of life. Our goal in Sterling Heights is to be the model for every other city, not just in Macomb County, but every city to follow. In every project, every department, we want to set the standard that every other municipality and level of government can follow. I know we're not as big as many other cities out there, but we provide many of the same services, and there really is no reason that we should not be the benchmark that every other city in America can aspire to. That is our goal, and if it's not our goal, why not? We have consistently shown that our employees are up to the challenge. With road projects, our city engineers don't just want to get the job done, they want to design roadways that exceed expectations, improve safety, and last for a really long time. Now, first of all, who out there knew that there were organizations giving out awards for road projects? This came as a surprise to me. But what did not come as a surprise is that the city received an award Its engineering department received an APAM Engineering Award for the 19-mile road improvements between Clinton River and Shaner Roads. Another project that received recognition this last year was the North Van Dyke Master Plan. For the past 3 years, the city has devoted significant time and resources to creating a master plan to redevelop the stretch of Van Dyke from north of 18.5 mile to Hall Road. The North Van Dyke Master Plan envisions a transformation of this 1.5 mile long, auto-oriented, low-density corridor into a high-quality mixed-use district. We can enhance connections to our Clinton River Greenway system. We can reconfigure the rights-of-way. We prioritize walkability, multimodal access, green stormwater infrastructure, and we can have a robust collection of new civic uses. They're all connected together with a resilient network of landscape spaces. Now, it's no wonder that this past year, the American Society of Landscape Architects recognized the city's North Van Dyke Avenue Master Plan with its award in the category of planning and analysis. And no department has worked harder over the past few years or been under as much pressure as our city clerk. The city clerk's office is responsible for so many functions, affecting every corner of the city, but none are more visible or important than running safe and secure elections. In a time when elections are under intense scrutiny, City Clerk Melanie Riska and her staff have set the standard for clerks across the country to follow. Through outreach efforts and registration drives, the city's clerk's office has proudly achieved a 96% voter registration mark. Similarly, the city's assessing department was recently recognized by the Michigan State Tax Commission, achieving a perfect score of 100% on its 2021 audit of minimum assessing requirements. Our assessing department is responsible for assessing tens of thousands of housing units in Sterling Heights, which includes hundreds of new construction homes over these past few years alone. Sterling Heights housing values are continuing to increase, and our market continues to be very strong despite recent headwinds. For years, developers have looked for any land available to meet the demand for increased housing, and it shows in the number of new housing permits that have been pulled here in Sterling Heights. While housing continues to increase, our assessing department's dedicated public employees are there to meet the demand. And another dedicated public employee I want to talk to you about is our Finance and Budget Director, Jennifer Varney. Our Finance and Budget Department recently received an announcement from Standard & Poor's of a bond rating increase, which will save our taxpayers money, and confirms that the city's financial position is strong as the global economy marches into uncertainty. The recent upgrade puts Sterling Heights among the top 2% of all public ratings over the past year. The city is being recognized for its excellence across multiple departments responsible for core city services like police, fire, engineering, elections, and assessing. Sterling Heights is also being recognized for improvements to quality of life initiatives like our skate park and nature center. As long as there isn't snow on the ground, the city's skate park is one of the busiest corners of our city. And this past year, the skate park was named as one of the 9 best skate parks in Michigan. Projects like the skate park and the city's new esports arena have introduced the Parks and Recreation Department to an entirely new community and generation of residents. And if you haven't visited the city's nature center, I really encourage you to drop in soon. Like so many other programs in our city, it was recently recognized as one of the top 3 nature centers in the Detroit region. Nestled along the Clinton River, the Nature Center is one of the city's true hidden gems. The staff is very knowledgeable and its programs are really exceptional, so I do encourage you to get out and see it. But it's not just the city that's being recognized and awarded for its leadership and services. Our business community is also leading the way and standing apart. Now, if you're a foodie like me and you love good Italian food, you know that Macomb County has a lot of really good options, right? But the best Italian food, I have to tell you, it isn't Luciano's over in Clinton Township. It's not Da Francesca's over in Shelby Township. It's a restaurant you might not even be aware of right here in Sterling Heights. Mangia Bevi Urban Italian at 15 Mile and Dodge Park isn't just one of the best restaurants in Sterling Heights, it's one of the best restaurants in all of Metro Detroit. This past year, Channel 4 viewers voted Mangia Bevi as the best Italian restaurant in all of Metro Detroit. And if you haven't, Thank you guys for being here. Manja Bevy in the house. If you haven't been there yet, I have to ask, what are you waiting for?
MB stay for Manja Baby, eat and drinks, urban Italian because we want to create a menu where it goes from North Italy to South Italy. Stefan's from South, I'm from North Italy. We want to create an atmosphere where it's timeless, it's modern, and classy at the same time. Creating also a place where people really enjoy to work, and a menu where it changes all the time, and creating a place where the cooks in the back have something excited to do.
We are taking the traditional Italian, we're putting a modern twist on many of the dishes, or keeping them the same as they should be traditionally. So we're also implementing, we're letting the chefs, as Mauro said before, have a lot of say in creating some new takes on dishes or creating their own dishes and putting them on the menu because, we don't ever want anything to be stale here. We want always something, never the same, always good.
We did not forget about Giovanni. I was here for 42 years. Matter of fact, we have a picture of their place over there. And also be really in the sport, cycling, running. I made a part of front of the restaurant for the local athletes. I made it either to the Olympics or to Boston marathons and stuff like that. And going back to the food, we like to have a future prosciutto fresh cut back over here. The grappa cabinets, which is unique. We infuse our grappa, So it's a lot of pieces, It takes a second to absorb when you walk in. People walk in, they don't see this room, they think this is the restaurant, and then they walk in the back, they see the party rooms. There's kind of one surprise after another. Just recently, this year, the Best Spring, we decided to put a beehive in top of the roof, and it's been successful. We collected first a little honey, and next year we're going to expand it, and you can taste a bit of honey from Sterling Heights, which I'm very proud. Collected from Dutch Park, collected from the canals, collected the golf course. You get to taste Sterling Heights in a jar. I think at this restaurant stand apart because we took a chance to show people what really Italian food is, how service is. We want to bring on Dutch Park in 15 Mile in Sterling Heights a piece of Italy, and we've been successful on that.
We are bringing a lot of people in because the word is out. Sterling Heights is coming back, and people need to come back into our city, and that's another thing we're proud of, that we created this to bring people back into the city. I'm a Sterling Heights resident. I've been here for 11 years. I thought about moving because my property values, everyone bought, I was one of the lucky ones to buy low, and now I can sell. But why move? Why move? I live in a great city and great people, So many different cultures, so many lovely people. I've never heard a bad thing about Sterling Heights. No. And that's everyone that comes in, that comes into our restaurant, whether it be from West Bloomfield or whether it be from Grosse Pointe or all over the place, they have no problems finding the place. They love eating here, they love coming into here, and they feel well secured and happy.
I think it's a well-centered place to open a restaurant and be successful in Sterling Heights.
Those guys are great. Manja Bevy is an awesome restaurant. I really do encourage you to visit if you haven't. So I got good news. We're in the home stretch of this speech now, so you don't have much longer to wait. I have to say, one of the most common questions that I get asked, and I got asked this morning, probably everyone in this room is guilty of it. Hey, Mike, how are things in the city? I usually don't know where to begin. And aside from once a year, I'm sure you don't want me talking to you for an hour or more about everything that we're doing. But I hope that after this morning, I've given you some indication that I believe the city has never been stronger. Sterling Heights is leading with positivity, with progress, with innovation, and with trust. I don't do this alone, not even close. Together with my colleagues on the city council, we try to set the positive tone every single day. We want to be different and we want to stand apart, and I think this team does stand apart. I want to take a minute to recognize our entire city council, including the members who could be here today, for their positive attitude, their commitment, to the city of Sterling Heights. So please stand up when I call your name. Our Mayor Pro Tem Liz Sarowski, Councilwoman Barb Zarko, Councilman Henry Yanez, Councilman Michael Radke, and unfortunately, Councilwoman Maria Schmidt and Deanna Koski couldn't be with us here today. I also want to thank and acknowledge our employees and our volunteers who lead with positivity, rising above the partisan rancor that's really paralyzed other levels of government. We've worked hard these past 12 months to continue building and maintaining the trust of our residents. We've done it with innovation, we continue to make progress, and we continue to stand apart. I think we've shown the country and the state what cities can do and what we can accomplish when we work positively. I also want to thank all the other dignitaries and elected officials that are here from the county, the state level, the federal level. I can't go and name every single one of you, but I thank you for your partnership, and I thank you for committing to work with the city of Sterling Heights to make these innovations and make this progress possible. Without your partnership, many of these things could not have happened. And I want to thank the business community that's out here as well. You have been incredible partners. With our leadership, Stacy Zarko, President and CEO of the Sterling Heights Chamber of Commerce, we have an incredibly strong business community. We have partners across the for-profit and nonprofit sector, across all sectors. We love working with you to improve people's lives. I also want to take a minute to give a special thanks to our Community Relations Department. I tried to hit as many departments as I could today. Our Community Relations Department goes above and beyond to help me put this speech together so that we can show to the entire community what we've been doing over these past 12 months and highlight some of the things that we're excited about over the next 12 months. This Community Relations Director, Melanie Davis, she could not be here today, but she has been by my side every step of the way, and I want to thank her for everything that she does, helping put this speech together and leading her team of very important people. Marissa Russo also could not be here this morning, but she has done an incredible job helping me find the theme and how we can stay positive and deliver a message that shows everything that we've been doing over these past 12 months. Bob Surgott and Dan Rizek, you two are rock stars. If you don't know these guys, they are incredible. The videos that you've seen, they are working nights and weekends, Sundays, whenever to get the job done. They have been incredible, and I'm so blessed, and I think the city's blessed to have you guys telling our story. We tell the story in, I think, a really unique and interesting way, and it's because of what you guys do. And so those four people deserve a huge round of applause for everything they've done. Filling in perfectly in the pinch hitter role this morning, Dawn Von Derek, you've been awesome. Thank you so much. While we think COVID is behind us, it rears its ugly head every now and again, doesn't it? I want to thank Tonic Events, who put on this, the screens and the audio, video, everything you see. I think the room looks amazing. Thank you, Tonic. Thank you to my wife and family for helping me over these past several weeks get this speech written. It's been a great 12 months in Sterling Heights. I really think it has. And I'm excited for the upcoming year, too. Now, we're going to end this speech soon, and unlike the beginning, we're going to go out on a high. We're going to go out like Willie Nelson, on a high, as Ted would say. We are so close to making a major announcement on the Lakeside Mall project. The North Van Dyke District is starting to really take shape, too. We have exciting new housing developments that are under construction or development right now. We're exploring areas of the city where we can create new parks, new trails, community gardens, and so much more. The Sterling Heights Police Department is ready to announce a partnership with the Macomb County Prosecutor's Office called the Redirect Program. Sterling Heights will be the first city in Macomb County in this program, which will redirect certain offenders away from incarceration and into treatment to reduce recidivism and get people the help that they need. Following today's theme, this is a big change from how things have always been done. But it's an example of bold leadership and another way that Sterling Heights is standing apart. Now, I know change isn't always easy, and some people don't want change. But change can mean progress. And I gotta say, we need to continue making progress. We need to continue building trust. We will continue to innovate, and I promise you that we will continue to stand apart.
Most of the time, change is a good thing. I think that's what it's all about. Embracing change. Being brave. Doing whatever you have to so that everyone in your life can move forward there. Oh, hey, one last thing. And I want everyone's eyes on me when I say this. Look at me.
Believe me that we can stay positive. We can accomplish so much together. It's time for cities to take on the challenge of leading and leading boldly. We're up to the challenge here in Sterling Heights, and we can't wait to get back to work. Thank you very much, and watch Ted Lasso. Thank you.